Hey, good afternoon, everybody. So we are back in Ho Chi Minh City, aka Saigon, and today is going to be a relatively chill day because it's our last day here. But we wanted to see a little bit of the history of the city. So it's a museum time. So I'm on my way to the Museum of Fine Arts. Then later on, we're going to the Independence Palace, and then the Ho Chi Minh History Museum. One of the benefits of working with a company like Club Adventures is that you can customize your itinerary. They're very flexible because the groups are significantly smaller than other tour companies that are running the same route. I wanted to see this museum, and the reason I wanted to see this museum is because I've always believed that fine art is the most accurate representation of what's going on at the time in the place. And given the turbulent history of Saigon / Ho Chi Minh City and Vietnam as a whole, I think it's an excellent place to discover the history. So the price has gone quite a bit up. It used to be 10,000. I want to say this was only a couple years ago was 10,000. Now it's 30,000. So FYI, for anybody who's been here before, the price is a little more expensive now. All right, so here's the entrance. Beautiful. So this building is a combination between the French and Chinese designs. And in this building number 1 is where you're going to find the modern art and the student art. And building number 2 is where you're going to find, it's going to be more international art, exhibits, private collections. And number 3 is going to be like contemporary ancient art, like more traditional works. One of the reasons I've always been passionate about teaching kids photography is I believe that a lot of our stories of marginalized communities and people overseas, they're told by privileged Western white people. And a lot of times we don't have the tools to tell our own story or the skill set. We haven't been taught. Not the skill set within our community, because we can tell each other stories, but the skill set to tell everybody else, the international community, the stories that matter to us, the real history. So when you see things like that, when you see places like this, make sure you try to stop in and visit these places because they tell the true story from a local's perspective. Oh, all right, guys, so a pleasant surprise. So this gentleman, his mom, this is all of her work, and everything here is hand done. So what I'm gonna do, I just bought one of the prints, and I'm gonna give it away to one of you guys, just cause I love you. So amazing pieces in here. Beautiful pieces, all done by your mom, right?
Yes, all by my mom.
And this is her book?
Actually by my father also.
Oh, your father
Yes,
and your mom.
both of them are artists for more than 25 years.
All right. And are you all from Ho Chi Minh City?
Actually my parents from Hanoi. They are born. My mom can't install for
Perfect. Let me put it on the video. This is his mom right there. Give away one of these prints, these beautiful prints. I'm definitely gonna come back and get one for myself though. She actually has a showroom here downstairs, and this is where he says her bigger prints are. Oh wow, look at these colors. Wow. This is brilliant. Oh my goodness. Look at this. So coming up on the second floor where they have the younger artist, next generation. And here we go. Check that out. Check that out. They're 1975. So my generation of artists. Let's see. Ooh. A beautiful sketch, watercolors, excuse me. This is pencil pieces. Ooh, it's nice in here. Oh man, look at this beautiful lacquer work. Wow. This is what I mean by a local's depiction of everyday life. Somebody who's not from here can't create this kind of art, this narrative, these views. Look at these pieces. Amazing. Look at the different techniques that they use. This is a lacquer. Look closer. Level of detail is brilliant. Look at this. I made a mistake that I always make when I come to museums for the first time is I did not account for how big this place is. It's 3 entirely separate buildings, 2 and 3 floors each. So yeah, I don't think I'm gonna make it through everything, but I'm gonna see as much as I can in the next 45 minutes before I gotta run. Second building is for like the really famous artists and personal collectors. This is some of their work. A special exhibition is going on, so they just finished hanging. Oh, beautiful lacquer pieces. Let me get a little closer, let you guys see. There we go. Details. Oof. So before I get out of here, I want to talk about one thing that I did not realize, how prominent lacquer is in Vietnamese art. A lot of these pieces, I'd say like 30-40% I've seen are pieces done with lacquer. I did not realize it was such a big thing. And I guess it would make sense because you see it a lot in Chinese art. So I guess it kind of made its way down here as well. If you don't know what lacquer is, I'm sure you've seen it before. It's usually done on wood and it has that shiny gloss to it. Like these are all lacquer, these are lacquer pieces. All lacquer, look at it. The gloss. It's like the HDR of painting, lacquer. The final stop is the second floor of building 2. Wow. Okay, so this is a special exhibition of the museum's own pieces. Wow. Looks like a wide range from around the traditional, the modern sculpture, contemporary. Huh. My goodness, guys, this is seriously one of the coolest art collections I've seen. My goodness. I mean, it's just excellent from start to finish. Everything here. Man, look at this. Wow. This is wow. Fortunately, that's all the time I have for the Modern Art Museum. And this is the problem with like organized tours, is that you're on a schedule sometimes. So sometimes you can't spend as much time exploring the way that you want to explore. The good thing is there's more to come. So, all right, I'll see you guys in a second. All right, so it's a little hot out here. I can't find my water, so I got me this coconut. But I don't really like coconut that much, but when you're hot, coconut water is amazing. I've been to the Independence Palace. You gotta grab our tickets here. Nice AC though. Good to go?
Tickets.
Yes.
Ready to go.
Perfect. Ooh, this AC is nice.
This is the way for the VIP.
The VIP directions.
Yes, very patient people.
The Independence Palace. This place is massive. A big tourist site. We got here a little bit late, but it's okay. Look at that. Beauty. Oh, come on, Sky. Why are you so bright? Hi guys, so a little history lesson, something that I think a lot of Americans need to know and recognize is when we were here, when the United States of America was here fighting the war, we were in the South. We supported the South. We flew missions from the South to the North, and we were fighting against North Vietnamese, a proxy war. So after the U.S. withdrew because of pressures in the U.S. and around the world, it left the South Vietnamese pretty much defenseless. So the North Vietnamese army started to make their way south, taking over town by town by town, and then they ended up here. And then they used these two tanks, the 30s right here, to crash through the gates and reunify Vietnam. When this happened, a lot of people, when the president at the time of South Vietnam made the announcement, the U.S. ambassador to Vietnam said he would not leave until everybody who wanted to leave came out. So they had helicopters taking people to the ships. The problem was we didn't have enough helicopters, didn't have enough ships to try to get everybody out. So the U.S. ended up telling them, you got to go, and the ambassador just flew away, leaving thousands and thousands and thousands of people just stranded. For some people, that was a great day. For some people, it was a terrible day. The UH-1, probably one of the most versatile helicopters ever made. That's a staple in this region. She designed, this helicopter was designed to take off on any terrain. So it's an amazing helicopter. Thane's out here doing some work. I told him I'm gonna fight him and everybody else. I'll see who's from here. Nobody's sweating. It's amazing how acclimated people are here to this humidity. But like, I'm not hot, it's just the humidity, just that pouring sweat. I'm telling you, Vietnamese humidity is something special. It's another thing. Going down, man, this duck bunker is deep.
It's called 17 parallel.
Yeah.
Binh
Dinh Hai.
River.
Yeah.
Right in the center of Vietnam, narrowest part of the country. This was North Vietnam, this was South Vietnam. The river is still there, but it's no longer the border. There's still.
Times when the U.S. military went to a country, and it was even the same when I was in Iraq and Afghanistan, it was far cheaper to just buy new stuff than it was to carry equipment there and back. So often we would leave a country and just leave all the stuff there. You know, buildings that we put up, vehicles, equipment, all that stuff actually stayed in country, and Vietnam is a great example of that. A lot of the stuff that we brought just stayed here. We're walking over to the next stop, and you guys can see it's already started raining. So whenever you travel to Vietnam, be very aware of the weather. So in all these Vietnam War movies, you see how much it rains here. It rains a lot here. But right now it's easily predictable. Between 3 and 4 o'clock it rains, and it only lasts for about 30 minutes. So it's not necessarily going to ruin your day. We are now at the Museum of History, or the Vietnam History Museum. Come in and grab your tickets over here, 30,000. All right, let's check it out. Google that, Dong Song. So they use these bronze drums here, over here, and on top of them you see patterns. can see the patterns on top of them. And then they figure out what life was like by looking at the patterns. So look, like number 1 is a house on stilts, number 2 is a boat, 3 is dancers, etc., etc. Keep going. And this is some of their tools. And they would bury people in these jars, and they would have this ornamentation on here. And then also something like this, kind of like this. The earring again. This is the Champa Empire, and this is the video of their defeat of the Mongolians, which they did 3 times. One of the only nations to pretty much dominate the Mongolians. And this is at the height in the 13th century. So all that yellow, Mongolia, that little red sliver, that's Vietnam. And they just couldn't make it through. Right there. That Viet. They tried 3 times, 58, 85, and 88. I just learned something I did not know. This is the Champa Empire, which was here in Vietnam. This is the map. So you said Champa, so it was North Vietnam.
North Vietnam down to where was Dai
Da Viet.
The middle part of Vietnam to north of Ho Chi Minh City. A lot of people pointed out here.
Yeah.
It was Cham. You can see in the square.
Right.
Champa Kingdom. From the south, from Ho Chi Minh City down to the bottom of the country, used to be Khmer Empire.
Khmer Empire, yeah, connected to Cambodia.
Cambodia, Thailand, Laos.
Right.
A huge empire.
Oh,
But
okay.
in 17th century, after taking over the Champa, they came down to the south and occupied the swampy area
Right.
bottom of the Mekong Delta. So that's why Vietnam is a long and thin country nowadays.
And this is some of their art. And it has a heavy Indian influence. Because they were Hindus.
Yes.
Hindus.
Yes.
While everybody else
Nowadays, the Cham people in Vietnam still follow Hinduism and some of them Muslim.
mummified body. Monsieur Coin. Oh, I just saw the mummy, but also when we were in the south, I saw a lot of cemeteries, like burial plots, gravestones, like right at people's doorsteps. So, what is it about Vietnamese culture where people bury their family members so close to their home?
Oh yes, in South Vietnam and North Vietnam, in the Mekong Delta and Red River Delta, Vietnamese people in the old days, when they passed away, they always wish to stay close to the family. So that's why they want to be buried in the back garden, in front of the house, or next door to the house.
Right.
So they want to stay close to their children, family members. And another reason is sometimes you can see the people bury the dead in the middle of the rice field.
Right.
Massive rice field, one grave.
Okay.
Because they want to be buried on their own land.
Right.
So they want to keep that rice field, keep that farmland for the next generation. But nowadays, some provinces in the Mekong Delta, which is South Vietnam, still allow people to bury the dead in wherever they like.
Right.
And some other provinces, you have to bury in the cemetery.
Okay. So it's changing over time.
Changing now.
But still, there are some places where you're allowed to bury them on your own land,
Yes,
anywhere you want.
but it's still quite common in the Mekong Delta.
Okay.
Yeah,
Good.
sometimes it's changed for some people because,
Right.
for example, you take the bus tour or you on the bicycle tour, and you go by the local house. In front of the house is the grave.
Yeah, well, we did that. I saw that when we were cycling
that's
yesterday.
right. And nowadays in the city, people started to do more cremation because
Right.
to buy land,
It's expensive.
to bury people, it becomes more and more expensive.
Right.
So people start to do more cremation in the big city like Hanoi or Ho Chi Minh City.
Got it. Awesome. Thanks, man.
No worries.
Guys, I wanted you guys to check out. So this is a more modern side of Saigon or Ho Chi Minh City. We got places like this, like a beer garden vibe. Over here you have like a Brazilian steakhouse. Not far down the street you have like a Little Japan. And you have stuff like this, like a stir fry with french fries, beer sing. Saigon is an international city. It's one of those places where you can kind of get a bit of everything that you want. Here you have places like this that are beer gardens. You still have like the street vendors serving food on little stools. You can get a little bit of everything you want here in Saigon. Looks spread good. We got some fresh prawns that were swimming a minute ago. And some like spinach. And then our stir fry mix. Really good, simple, easy, international fare. Guys, my nose is running. I've been eating this spicy, it's like a spicy chili sauce for prawn. It's absolutely amazing. But then he's making me try squid and octopus. I don't like it, but when a local offers, you eat it. So I'm gonna do it. When you're a robe, you do as the Romans, right?
Okay, let's come at it. Oh my Buddha, it's beautiful. Yes, you changed the mind now. Change the mind. Tomorrow order one plate of octopus.
Oh, it's not that bad. It's okay. It's not that bad.